There are not too many countries in the world where judiciary is totally independent from the executive. Today, Papua New Guinea have a very independent judiciary, totally independent from the legislature. In fact, the Chief Justice court order is much, much higher than James Marape or the Prime Minister's order from the cabinet. But I am gifted in reading politics better than most. I can tell you, and all the patrons of this party, we will come out stronger in 2027. Our work is not yet finished. In the next 10 years, if this project is progressed, Papua New Guinea will easily be a $200 billion economy to the Prime Minister who celebrates the 70th anniversary of our nation. 10 years coming up for us is fundamentally important for the country. Pangu has the blueprint. No other party knows how to deliver the economy to a 200 billion Kina economy and a 200 billion US dollar economy in 10 years and the next 10 years.
Welcome back, guys. Today we joined Pangu Party fundraising dinner in Port Moresby, where Prime Minister James Marape declared Pangu is the soul of Papua New Guinea's journey. From birthing the nation's constitution to driving 29 billion Kina in investments in landmark projects like new hospitals and roads, Pangu's legacy shapes PNG's past, present and future. Join us to explore Marape's bold vision for a 200 billion Kina economy by 2035.
The Honorable Peter Siamalili Jr., descendant of the first parliamentary leader of Pangu Party, the late Sir Paul Lapun from South Bougainville. I appreciate your stewardship over this important meeting and dinner. And I want to say thank you very much for all of you. I look across all tables and all familiar faces. The last 6 years we walked this path together. And so joining my Deputy Party Leader and our Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable John Rosso, and of course, a Master of Ceremony, I just want to say thank you very much. Big pla, thank you, Tanaku Bada Herea, and for those from our friends in Asia, CSA, big pla, how much long you blogger come together. Thank you too much, thank you too much. It is indeed nice to see all of you. It is not an exciting part of the year. Mid-year is usually quite slow. But work must continue, and we must still live on. And to coincide with our party's 58th birthday, yesterday we had total honor and privilege to be at the APEC House, get-together of all political parties organized by the Racial Political Party. And so it was a good occasion in which we commemorated 58 years of the party being around in Papua New Guinea. And today or tonight, all of you care to join us, digging deep in your pockets to ensure the party remains functional. I just want to say thank you to the patrons of our party. 6 years on, we took government, and most of you, if not all of you, have walked with us right through. And I want to say thank you for your continued hope and faith in us. Some of you, our support may have been delayed. Some of you may not have participated in one way or another, but nonetheless, you have been part of us, and you have seen tonight a little bit of snapshot on Pangu being bigger than James Marape. And I want to say, Pangu was there in the late 60s, Pangu was right through in the 70s, Pangu was around in the 80s, Pangu was around in the 90s, 2000, and of course, the last decade, and the first half of this decade. And so Pangu, take it from me, will be around when you and me are long gone. When a nation celebrates 100 years, Pangu will still be around. Others are just for the moment. This party is synonymous with the country. The country is Pangu, Pangu is party, it is a PNG, and together the twin will live on into the future because the party stands for Papua and New Guinea United. In 2019, when I resigned from the PNC-led government, it was a moment of, for me personally, a moment of uncertainty, but I had deep in my conviction that it was the right time to walk out from my comfort zones. Having seated in the front row of the government I was part of, and to see national interest not being secured and promoted, I said, enough is enough. And if my resignation can awaken the sense of the incumbent leadership that time to do better, may it be. And so one man, without even conversing with my brother Poe or my brother Undialu or others who were with me at the time, I decided to pull the plug. And I resigned on the 11th of April 2019. Little did I know that 49 days later, I would be conferred the highest honor and privilege of my life to be made the 8th Prime Minister of our country. And here we are 6 years on as the 8th Prime Minister of our country. Trust me, there is no joy in this office when work is not done. I am the last man to go to sleep, and I am possibly the first man to wake up every morning. Just like a mother in the house who is the last person to sleep in the house and the first to wake up to make sure the house is okay. I sometimes go to sleep at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I wake up quite early to attend to work. But that comes with the territory. When work is abound, then we must pack in more hours we can to get work done. And those of you in the private sector knows this very well. You work long hours. Unfortunately, in Papua New Guinea, those of us in the public service do not know how to long work hours. Something that we must fix, and I'm looking to deploy. And John knows. John has been tasked to mobilize the use of technology to assist in procurement selections for contracts or managing public service at work. We're trying to use artificial intelligence and technology to assist in this space. Myself and John and Honorable Poe and Honorable Sungi and Honorable Soroi and Honorable Siamalili and Staki with our parliamentary caucuses and our non-parliamentary caucuses, our Maurice and our senior Mama President Erege. We know we have much sense of obligation on us because we're not running a Johnny-come-late political party. We're running a ship that is the mother of this country, that bettered this country, so the greater the obligation is on us to get it right for our people. And so it's just not me sleeping in late. And the other day I was joking to John. I said, John, I give you enough time. You sleep before 10 o'clock. At least one of us or some of us must preserve our energy for the long run, instead of all of us clocking up and burning long hours earlier to be redundant earlier. So we're spacing ourselves, trying our best for our country. 6 years on, I want to report to all of you who have been a patron of our party. The highest ever concentration or demobilization of capital investment fund in a 6-year period has been delivered by this Pangu Party government. Over 29 billion Kina. Not talking about recurrence, I'm just talking about PIP or PIP funds. We have distributed to the economy through contracts, through work, right across our country in the fairest manner we can. I know this year is running slow with the turbulences we have in the economy, but we will still catch up. Our track record, the last 6 budgets we delivered, is a testament of our ability to catch up. And so the last 6 years, we have delivered 29 billion Kina in capital investment programs all over our country. And thank you, DPM, for acknowledging the former Secretary Wera in the House and others who have contributed. Very soon, before September, hopefully, I can now drive from Port Moresby to Lae. We are working towards me driving from Port Moresby to Lae. Hands up, anyone who's ever dreamt of it. Port Moresby City is the only city capital, country's capital city that is not connected by road from other parts of our country. And so we are working to connect PNG, Port Moresby to Lae, linking our industrial capital and our nation's capital together. These are just, I'm using that to make reference to the amount of work that is happening in all parts of our country. Today, for the first time, you can now drive from Kiunga to Telefomin. Telefomin was thought of as one of the most remotest. You can now drive easily. Sepik River has been bridged, and vehicle is now going back and forth from Telefomin to Kiunga as we speak. Work will continue on. We will go all the way, Pans all the way until we reach Wenemo. And road will come back east until we reach Kopiago in the Hela province. There's an indication of work happening, just a couple of indications on many work across our country. Today you can drive from Alatau to Port Moresby. I will be hitting the road in a free weekend to go to Alatau from Port Moresby. It's just an indication on what we're doing right across the length and breadth of our country the last 6 years. But I must be the first to also acknowledge that this is not enough. We have more to do. And Pangu intends to stick to our simple game plan to make sure we open our country with key enabling infrastructures. whether it's roads and bridges and ports and jetties and airports, or power and fiber connectivity. We have debate raging on why we're not bringing Starlink into the fray, and those debates are going on as we speak in our own caucuses to make sure we catch up faster than later in what we must do, having enabling infrastructure, in our view, that will settle law and order, deliver better education, better health to our country. And I want to say thank you for all of you having hope and faith in us. This party will not go down when James Marape goes down. Yesterday at the political party occasion, I said, if you want to attack James Marape, fair dinkum, I'm a big shoulder guy, I can take the attack. But leave my party alone. The party is innocent. You attack James Marape and leave the party alone. The party constructed this country. The constitution we have today was sourced from Pangu Party policy room. The three arms of government we have today was created by Pangu Party, and its distinct separation of functions and work. There are not too many countries in the world where judiciary is totally independent from the executive. Today, Papua New Guinea have a very independent judiciary, totally independent from the legislature. In fact, the Chief Justice court order is much, much higher than James Marape or the Prime Minister's order from the cabinet. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Court is a fair place to adjudicate on all issues in our country, and we intend to entrench this and preserve as part of our generation's gift to the nation, one of the biggest work we have started. And I want to thank Minister Ninigi, our Justice Minister. He may not be the flashiest minister, but he's amongst the hard-working ministers. Let's clap to him. He was good to have said, they tainted the integrity of the judges. Far from it. He was complimenting our judges who were working. And we intend to bring in overseas judges to complement and work with the local judge from New Zealand, judge from Singapore. I met the Singaporean Prime Minister. I asked him to get judge from Singapore, judge from Hong Kong, so that our judiciary is stacked up with competency to understand commerce business as it relates to Southeast Asia and the world as a country going forward. So we're working very hard to entrench the total independence of our judiciary and vitality and functionality of our judiciary. We also bring in international arbitration. Instead of going to court, you have arbitration. If you have an issue, example, a contractor have an issue with state and state is delayed in payment and you feel it's eating into your pockets, then you seek an arbitration and they will arbitrate on your rights. This is something we want to tailor, and I've said it myself, my caucus, that if James Marape is gone, if everything else you forget not the independence judiciary we are doing for our country. In my view, that is the greatest gift our generation can give to the diversity we have in our country. We have a fair court and a functioning law and justice sector system, then every one of us are fair living in our society, even in the midst of disputes. And you go to court, you know the court will hear you correctly, and the rule of law will always prevail. So in the middle of many things, facing our 50th, we are embarking this journey with confidence. I want to take this time to thank my parliamentary members who remain faithful despite many lures, temptations, and especially those who are not in cabinet portfolio at the moment. Some of you overqualified to be in cabinet, but choose to remain outside and give support to all of us. Managing 50 MPs is not easy. Yesterday we saw a front page headline from the opposition. They're managing only 12, but they have a division in 12. Correct? So for us, 50 MPs who are all equal on the table. I just want to step back on behalf of John and the leadership team, say thank you, Tomas. Loga brother Blomi, you plus staff na mister. Thank you, Tomas. Bikla must live longer. Some of you will live on when some of us hop out of the bus in as far as the party is concerned. And we're working to structure the party out that lives beyond James Marape. That is something we're working. We had a very good national convention here a year ago that gave authority to the council to be at operation. This party is different from every other parties. We have a constitution, we have a structure in place. In fact, in the structure of the party, myself and the parliamentary wing report to the governing council of the party. And that is the correct way to go. We come and go, but the party must live on. And so the party will certainly live on beyond my time. In 2027, when we are about to go to the election, for me as parliamentary leader and deputy party leader, we will place our leadership on the table for the party to decide. That's the way I want to take this party. We are taking this party. The party must be organic. The party have a structure. Party is not personality based, But party is policy-based institution that runs on. Take one person out, but a party lives on. Today we have Honorable Siamalili, third generation Pangu. Honorable Manasseh Magiba, second generation Pangu. I got my son and daughter in the room. I want them to be second generation Pangu leadership too, in time when they decide to go into politics. I hope not, but I'm just saying. They're here somewhere in the crowd. We are building a party that will live on. And trust me in this one, I have no other interest and no other love except Rachel. Rachel, so all of you know my wife, so that's my only other love. But my greater love and passion is politics and this country and getting this country moving in the right place. Hypothetically, if the party says your time is up and you sit on the side and get someone else in 2027, 100% trust me on this one, I will not leave the party, but I'll be the strategist at the back, making sure the party is still living on. I am gifted in the gift of reading the future. Some are gifted in the gift of reading the future in the stock exchange. Paul and you and your chairman, maybe you're gifted in reading stock exchanges. Some are gifted in reading horse race. I don't know anything about horse race or all this sort of thing. But I am gifted in reading politics better than most. I can tell you, and all the patrons of this party, we will come out stronger in 2027. Our work is not yet finished. Our work is not yet finished. PNG remains unconnected. Our economy has not reached the 200 billion Kina we want the economy to reach in 2030 or 2031. We're getting there. When we took over, it was a 79.6 billion Kina economy, central bank statistics. Today, we're tracking at 123 billion Kina economy. By the end of this year, it should have gone past 130 billion Kina economy. In 6 years, we would have put 50 billion Kina on top of the 79 billion Kina economy we took over from. I mean, moving on to reach a 200 billion Kina economy at the very earliest. People ask me, why do you talk about economy? And I said, the reason is simple. Just imagine economy as the garden you take from to cook your food, or for Papua New context, to do the mumu. If the garden is big and healthy, you got plenty of food to put into the mumu, and the mumu is bigger. If the garden is small, the mumu is smaller. Papua New Guinea have over 11 million people now. We need to have a bigger garden, bigger economy to take from to support health, education, finance public service, build more roads, keep the law and order running. And so we on pursuit for a bigger economy. And I want to give you all a special glimpse into what is coming up in the next 10 to 15 years in our country. And I want this screen to be up for those of you at the back. I want to say thank you to Asok. Asok, that's your screen coming up. Asok is one of the guys at the back that we do deploy. Himself, Augustine, myself were part of the PNG LNG construct in 2007, 2008, when the numbers were put and we were looking at PNG LNG numbers. I was a freshman in Augustine. I lobbied for him to be appointed MRDC. He got picked by Somare. And Asok was there working somewhere around, I think, with oil since then, if I'm not incorrect. And so he's the guy. I rely on him for numbers. Now my office knows where I source my numbers. I don't only source it from my office. I have network who give me numbers. We have these projects lined up that is coming up in the next 10 years. In the next 10 years, if this project is progressed, Papua New Guinea will easily be a $200 billion economy to the Prime Minister who celebrates the 70th anniversary of our nation. 70th anniversary. 70th anniversary is 20 years down the line. You in 2005, were you all alive in 2005? You all alive in 2005. From 2005 to 2025, 20 years have flew so fast in a lifetime like this. So the next 20 years, my son, Mr. Tyson, you're an entrepreneur sitting here. Thank you for coming. Next 20 years, exciting 20 years coming up for your country. For those of you in business who are here, whether you're resident, you're citizen, or you been a Papua New business for so long. Mr. Kim and the team, I see you the last 30 years you've been here. Well, I'm giving you the next 20 years now. Play more golf and be more healthier. Bring your son back to PNG, not in Korea. The next 20 years, we're sequencing projects lined up, and this graph not to the public much. It is still a detailed work in progress. This graph will give Papua New Guinea from the hydrocarbon and mineral space a $200 billion economy by 2045. I'm now gone past the 200 billion Kina I want to have for the country in 2032, 2031, or 2030. We're now looking beyond. We're in 2025. Papua LNG, Mr. Puyana, the CEO of Total, tells me everything is now back on schedule. So you expect Papua LNG to be, the red line talks about the construction phase. And I got only 5 or 6 projects put there. In my list here, I have well over 20 projects here, but I'm picking the major ones. I have projects. If you give me time, I can read them to all of you if you have an interest to know what these projects are. I can fill in the details later on. But Papua LNG, construction will run 2026, 2027 to 2031. Pasca LNG, a small project that we own, 50%, and state is taking 70% in total benefit. It's running from 2028 to 2031, thereabouts, in terms of construction. And then Pinang, we're sequencing Pinang. Pinang is a project that under Take-Back PNG we negotiated. We're getting 63% total benefit from Pinang. Pasca and Pinang is Pangu government's project. Papua was the only project PNG government delivered in the 8 years in terms of project agreement. We've relooked at it, and we're picking a little bit of win out of Papua as we progressed. But Pinang will start construction in 2029 and go into 2032. And then we got Wafi, an exciting project coming up called Welda Beast. Welda Beast, if we give the right incentive and proven correctly, Welda Beast will be even bigger than PNG LNG project. Anywhere between 40 CF to a 26 TCF, we got Welda Beast running. And then you got Frida, and you have Namabore and Mailu coming on. Mailu could easily, there's a Mailu project, and there's another project, Garus. They could easily be the biggest oil project our country has ever found. These are projects we have lined up. I intend, as a party, before 2027 election, we will cross project agreement in as much as we can before 2027 in all these projects, and we will sequence their construction from 2026 all the way to 2035, 2036. And if you are sitting and enjoying the ambience of Hilton Hotel, guess what? It was never here before 2015. Hilton Hotel was never here before 2015. What happened? Why Hilton Hotel? That's from a 22, that's the byproduct residual net gain of the PNG LNG project that expanded the economic base. Before 2008, our economy was still under 30 billion Kina. After 2008 to 2019, when I took over, the economy was 79 billion Kina. One project in a major hit to the economy had influenced this manner. Today we sit at Hilton Hotel. And I want to say to all of you who are patrons here, especially those who are in business, we work towards making sure we have a deregulated government system. I want to apologize to some of you where over-regulation maybe have pushed you out. We're looking towards a government system that has little regulation and encourages more business to grow. We're looking towards, in time, when the economy hits around 200 billion Kina economy, we will be at the affordable rate to cut down corporate tax. And I want to repeat this. Keep a lookout. When the economy hits a 200 billion Kina economy, we can cut down corporate tax, because by then we'll have the affordability, every one of us carrying the load. Right now, I want to say thank you to the corporate client. You've been paying your tax. We've given discount to our individual people at the till level. The GST has been slashed for essential household items. We've uplifted the non-tax paying threshold for our small people earning around up to 20,000 Kina. They don't pay any tax anymore. But to your corporate sectors, when the economy hits a 200 billion Kina economy, we will bring the corporate tax down. That's a promise I can make to you tonight. Is that okay? At the moment, you pay a higher corporate tax. But we're all carrying the load together. We need this ship to be alive, correct? You need the country to be alive, so you're paying at this, but it'll come down very, very soon, hopefully within 5 years, 6 years. It's a target base. When it hits a 200 billion Kina economy of diamond, we can have the comfort to slash down corporate tax. And at the moment, we incentives in those who choose to invest in special economic areas, for those who want to assist government in import replacement, with subsidizing you through a tax relief we can give for those who get engaged in import replacement. I want to say thank you to Mayu and others who now, for the first time, we will have easily in 2 years or 3 years locally produced cement. So all of you who are now buying cement from elsewhere, you can run off to them, buy a cement at half the price, and we get engaged in constructing our roads and buildings in a locally produced cement. That sort of business we want to give incentive. If you replace import and if you bring your product to a local economy to sell at a low price, whether food or building products, etc., our government looks ready to give incentive. But in general corporate tax, we will have to wait till we hit a 200 billion Kina economy easily. Papua LNG, Papua LNG, Pinyang, Pasca, and Wafi Golpu. These 5 projects could easily push us to a 200 billion Kina economy level. Rest them. I want to read the rest we have running around. Tolukama mine is now, guess what, back up and running. Tolukama mine is now, we're going to reopen Tolukama mine. Woodlark and Misima mine that was phased out is being reopened. Mount Kare and Kiliteke in my province, I've asked them to restart up these 2 big gold and copper reserves sitting up there. We got Wild Dog in East New Britain being reworked upon. Yandara in Medang, we're looking at bringing that also and across. We have some work happening all over our country, including Manus. For those who are in Manusians, Rio Tinto is in Manus doing some exploration right now as I speak in the mining sector. For Oktedi, we've now put 20 more years of life to Oktedi. Oktedi would have closed in 2029. We came on board, find more reserve. They found more reserve. There's 20 more years to Oktedi. Pogra is now back in production. One of the reasons why I left O'Neill government was he wanted to give Pogra under SML1 terms, and I said, no, it's time we get better from Pogra. And thank God his government was changed. Our government's got in. We sat down for 3 years. We're now getting 51% total value from Pogra in as far as equity is concerned. And today, that time I was not prophet, but I told everyone, write it down. Gold price will go past 3,000 at the very earliest. When we did Pogra, we modeled Pogra at $1,536 an ounce. Today, Pogra is benefiting from $3,400 an ounce. I may not be wrong, but write it down again. By the end of this year, gold price will go at $4,000 an ounce. So Pogra, 20 good years coming up in Pogra. We've now working with Ramu Nickel. They're trying to expand the work in Ramu. And I thank our MCC investors. They're looking at coming back to us asking for renegotiations. We're asking them to go downstream in nickel production. And so the Ramu Nickel is going good there. We got Mambare in a good nickel deposit in Oro province. And so close to 17, I got in my list, 17 mid-size to big-size mineral projects also in our country. The next 10 years will be a boom time for our country. Clean your books, manage your business well, buckle your seat, and let's go for the ride the next 10 years. Is that okay? We have a strategy. We'll take to 2 years to 2027, and subject to whoever is in government. But certainly, I can, if I were better, I would bet that Pangu will be big in 2027, 27 to 32, 32 to 37. These 10 years coming up for us is fundamentally important for the country who has the blueprint. No other party knows how to deliver the economy to a 200 billion Kina economy and a 200 billion US dollar economy in 10 years and the next 10 years. Remember in 2019 when I made my first speech as Prime Minister, your Prime Minister, I said we must reach a 200 billion Kina economy at the very earliest. The last 6 hard years, we posted 50 billion Kina. We were still working. We got 70 more billion Kina to reach the 200 billion Kina target. We are looking beyond just the 200 billion Kina to a $200 billion economy. And whoever, I'm absolutely certain, one of us in this room will be Prime Minister in 2045. 20 years is not too long. James Marape look long term, and then I work backward. I saw myself as an MP in 1990, and I became an MP in 2007. I never saw myself as Prime Minister in 2019. I thought my resignation will make my brother change some of the way he was doing, but God had planned the other way around, and 49 days later I became Prime Minister. Well, now I'm here. I will make it my business that next one from Pangu Party becomes Prime Minister after me, and we are working towards that. Is that okay? And so I want all of you who are patrons of this party, not James Marape, but Pangu Party. You are associated with the party that bettered this country, and this party will live on, and we want you to be part of the story. The next 10, 15 years, we grow this country. We have made inroads to the markets we have in our region. The Chinese market has opened to us like never before. President Xi Jinping is on first name talking terms with myself. President France is on first name talking terms with myself. Prime Minister India came here and I'm going there very soon. I'm not talking about presidents and leaders of our region. They are closer to home. President Indonesia will be here. Prime Minister Australia will be here for independence. Papua New Guinea is in the right spot at the right time for our producers to find the Asian marketplace. We don't care a 2-cent hood, the tariffs that is happening elsewhere. Our market is in Asia. We are secured in our Asian marketplace. I want commerce and business to grow here. Let's grow PNG, produce, supply our market, and sell back to the market we have in neighborhood. Thank you too much for coming by. Have hope, have faith in our country. The country is a great country. Thank you too much.